That's funny you say that, Scott, because what most people say is they dread the thought of going into the room because what if nobody wants to talk to them? And you just said exactly that, that after the first few words, nobody's listening because it's not exciting. So the notion then is that we start with the social angle. We start with a social connection. We're finding commonalities. How do I begin to do that, especially if it's an external event? I have no idea who's there and what do we talk about?
That's a great question. So external event, you don't know anybody in advance, you haven't had any advance information. That's perfectly fine, and that works for every event, truthfully. And that's how I approach every event. There's certain simple things that you can say that, works universally. Simple statements, like, have you been to one of these before? If it's primarily a networking event, that's just, getting, are you someone that goes out to networking events? Or what do you know about this organization? Are you a member? If there's a membership opportunity in this organization, if you know that much, you could talk to them about current events is always perfect thing to talk about. Perhaps you want to talk about what's going on in sports right now, who's in the World Series, those type of items are easy connections. Maybe as simple as the weather. When there's a change up in the weather, hasn't it been great? Weather recently. Have you done anything recently? Did you go anywhere? Maybe you're walking by. Maybe if it's a place with food. And so they're grabbing whatever item. Oh, did you grab that already? How does it taste? It's a simple, easy entry. Anybody can do it. You're not even looking them necessarily in the eye at that point. The most introverted person can accomplish that, and it's easy, and then it just gets things going. And you're not talking about business right away, and that's what's so great about it. And then who knows where that conversation leads? It can go anywhere.
How can I be memorable? What does that mean?
Well, that's a good question. You always want to stand out, obviously, because there's lots of events. This is a busy world that we live in. We're all tied to our smartphones, and moment to moment we're meeting lots and lots of people, and lots of things are happening with our jobs, and we're continually doing things. And if you don't stand out, then the potential for there to be follow-up, for there to be connectivity afterwards, of course, is going to decrease. So, I'll give you a great example. A woman I know, this that wouldn't work for everyone, so this is not perfect, of course, by any means, but her name is Greg, and she's a woman, and obviously that's not a common name. She always introduces herself as, "Hi, I'm Greg the girl," and that's it just works. That's a gimmick that works, obviously, and that's particular. But if there's humor, like I mentioned before, if you can make a joke, all of a sudden you're funny. That's great for people. They're like, oh, that was the funny guy. They're going to think back about the night and what happened on the night and what stands out to them, what was great about their night. Or if you're the interesting guy, or girl, of course, what's the story that you told? Maybe you had that exciting story. You want to utilize your best stories, your best accomplishments. Certainly another way, of course, is to be a giver. And that's a basic tenet of networking in general, is to be a giver. So, be interested in what they're talking about. And if you see an opportunity while you're, right away when you meet someone, of someone that you can connect them with, someone that you could introduce them to, it doesn't mean you have to give up all of your best contacts. It doesn't mean that you've endorsed them. But as long as you can just give them a good introduction, say, oh, you know what, you're into that, and I know my friend Mikey, he actually does that, and that's the type of person you want to meet. You know what, I can introduce you. Well, they're going to certainly remember you because you're already an opportunity for them. That's going to stand out. If you wear a nice tie, something that's different, that stands out, you're the one with that bright tie. Maybe you wear a bow tie, as a man. Maybe you're a woman, everyone is an affair where everyone's wearing black dresses and you're wearing pink. If you know a way to make yourself stand out in the crowd, it's always going to win. It's true of life, and it's certainly true of networking.